Hi, this is New York Citizen here. In today's video, I'm excited to show you Micro Inc, a new companion service for Micro.blog. If you are a RSS feed reader enthusiast, then this video is for you. Let's get started. The first thing I want to say is that I'm not paid to make this video. And the second thing is that I'm going to show you the Micro Inc service currently in beta. It should launch very soon in the upcoming days, and many things might change, but I'm guessing that the foundation will stay the same. When the service becomes available, it will be available to paid subscribers of Micro.blog from the entry-level subscription tier up to the studio tier. There's one feature that will be available only to premium users and up, and I'll tell you about that later. So this is the initial view of the Micro Inc service. This view presents the feeds content from today's articles. Then there's the recent article published yesterday, and older content will be placed in this fading tab, and I'll come back to this special tab later in the video. There's a bunch of keyboard shortcuts for power users who wants to navigate from their keyboard. You can change the views from this menu here. You can, of course, go to Micro.blog because this is integrated into Micro.blog service. This is where you will enter a new feed. You can look at the feeds configured. I'm currently subscribing to those feeds. One note is that I'm subscribing to pretty low velocity feeds, which keeps my reading list here, my view here, pretty short. I prefer to do that instead of subscribing to much more high level, high density feeds. That's a choice. Basically, my subscriptions here is basically my blog roll. Other options in this menu are the list of bookmarks, highlights, and the Discover section. Let's go to the Discover section. From there, you can subscribe to new feeds, either coming from the blogroll.org website or from Micro.blog itself. I find the integration with blogroll to be pretty nice because it expands the possibilities of a new subscription. And from there, you can just scroll and see any blog that you want to follow in this Micro Inc reader. You can also see recently presented in Micro.blog. What you see here after a while is a list of posts are part of the Discover section in the Micro.blog service. So that's cool, being able to kind of subscribe right within the Micro Inc service, or simply by going there and typing a new feed, either RSS or JSON feed, or you can follow directly a username from Micro.blog. I'm not sure I would do this last option here. I prefer to stay in Micro.blog to read my timeline, but anything that is RSS based content, I prefer to use this subscription right within the Micro Inc service, which means that I used to subscribe to MacRumor's website through their Mastodon account because I wanted to have a converge timelines of people and news website. But now with Micro Inc, I decided to unfollow the Mastodon account of MacRumors and instead subscribe to the feed inside the Micro Inc service. Of course, you can go in this menu and also select to mark all as read. You can refresh the feed, which will change the icon, the search icon here when the refresh is occurring. You can show past read posts like that. In this case, I don't have any recent or today's post that I have read, or I can hide those. So that's pretty much the basic of the main experience. Now, let's say I want to read an article about maybe the HomePod from Apple. So I click on that. And one thing to note is that I purposely don't subscribe to RSS feed where article contents is truncated. I like MicroRumors providing the full content of each articles. So that's why I'm subscribing to MicroRumors here, but I'm not subscribing to 9 to 5 Mac, for example. So that's the goal of being inside Micro Inc. and being able to read, highlight, and create link posts from this single UI. So the reading experience is pretty simple, very basic. And I mean, that's okay with me. If I want to highlight portion of text, I just click in here. I can highlight this. And this text will go then in this highlight section where I can read past highlights, and from there, this is something similar we have in Micro.blog. When you are archiving or bookmarking an article, you can highlight portion of the text, and from there I can create a new post or a link post, which is super nice, and that's one of the main reasons why I love this service. I can copy the highlight, I can delete it, but from there I can just click new post, and I can click on the preview, and this is very fast, and I can add more text and even use the full screen editor for that, which is super nice. Or I can dismiss that because I don't want to post anything. I can delete that too. And I'll go back to the article, and you see the highlight has been removed from the main view of the article. It's super nice. I can create a new post from that. I can copy the link to the original article. I can mark as unread, bookmark like this. It will go in the bookmarks section like that, right there, for later reference. If I go back to the feed, and in this article, also I can select text settings, the background, depending on my how I want to read my content. And also I can use different styles for the font and the text size. And also, if I'm reading a post coming from the microblog that has been posted on on microblog and is part of my timeline, and if there are any replies, I will be able to see those replies right there, and I'll be able to just reply to this to a post coming from microblog directly from Micro Inc. That's for the today view, which is for articles published today. Now for yesterday's article, this is available in the Recent tab, where we'll see a list of older articles. And I like this presentation of recent and today's articles because sometimes I want to look past, and this is what this view provides. But if I want to look even further in the past, I can use the fading articles, where this is a list of articles that are older than a few days. I'm not exactly sure what is the actual mathematic behind this, but those are past articles, like really a few days ago. And so I can read those articles from there like I do on today's view or the recent view. But what is interesting is the reading recap option, which will create a recap of those past articles. It's based on AI feature, and this will be available to premium subscribers only and up, and only if you have the AI settings enabled for your account, because some people might not want any AI-based feature to be available to them, and it's okay. But for those who wants to use that and they are a premium subscriber, then they can use the reading recap feature, which will present each articles in from this recent from this feed, and with some summary at the beginning. It will try to extract some picture from the those posts, even trying to find quotes and a recent post from the same guy, which is super nice. And this, I like that very much. The other thing that you can do is to send this recap by email on a specific day. So I could decide to send that on Saturday so that every beginning of the weekend I can just have a look at this email and scan through the email and see what was going on recently in my RSS feed. So it's super nice. Again, only available to a premium subscriber. Also, the service, the feature will try to tag each articles based on the content. So here it's talking about the Mac and data privacy. And so that's nice. Here, Manton is sharing a few images from a recent trip, I think to Atlanta or something. And then there's also some quote from recent articles from him. The same thing for Mac rumors about recent Apple announcements. So it's very nice. I like this view because it reminds me of kind of a newspaper style thing. And that's only for that, I think the service is well worth it. So that's for the fading view. The bookmarking feature is very handy. If I go in this menu and I go in the bookmarks, I can see recent bookmark on in this view here. I show red post. If I click on one of those bookmark posts which appeared on my timeline, as I said earlier, you can see that this guy had 4 replies to this post, which I can see right from this view, which is super nice. Again, there's many people who get a lot of replies. If I go to this guy here, there's 1 reply. So it's super nice to be able to see people because you feel the service is fully integrated in Micro.blog, which I think is one of the value proposition of Micro Inc. As I said, you can just go there, and from there it would be nice if I could reply from there. And of course I can do that and just hit reply and it will bring me to this view, and from there I can just hit reply there and then type my text if I want. So that's super nice. I mentioned that Micro Inc. has some level of integration with Micro.blog, and this is true with bookmarks and also seeing an article replies. There's another one which I'm not sure if it's working or not, but I think it's not working. But when reading an article, if you select some text here and you want to create an highlight from there, if I go in the Micro.blog highlights section, the bookmarks is there, but the highlights is not there. So I don't know if it's a bug or if it's on purpose, but I would expect that to be part of the integration between Micro.blog and Micro Inc. And for some reason, by the way, the URL to reach the service is micro.inc, but when saving the bookmark, it's shown as Inkwell. So I don't know which name the service will end up being. I'm guessing this is Micro Inc. because it's closer to Micro.blog, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get some explanation very soon. I want to share a few more notes about bookmarking articles and highlighting text within those articles. If I do highlight some portion of the text here, you will get a mention of the number of highlights in this currently shown article, which is nice. I can click on that, and from there I can just create a new blog post. If I want to bookmark this article, which I already did, you can unbookmark it from there. If I want to go and see my current bookmarks, I can hit this option here. And when I click on this article, I see that the article is being archived by Micro.blog because it will extract the content of the full article and also produce a AI-based summary if the AI option is enabled at your account, on your account. So I think it's a nice touch for creating bookmarking and managing a lot of bookmarks within either Micro Ink or through the use of bookmarks inside Micro.blog. Adding a new feed is really very easy. Simply pasting the link to the feed and hitting the subscribe, and then it will add the new feed in alphabetic order. You can rename the feed or remove it. And when it's removed, you can go in the feed here, refresh the page to act. Sometimes there is a few bugs in this view here. I don't know if I have any posts from Sixcotter. Well, after refreshing the page, I went back to this recent tab and the feed is showing normally all the articles. I think it wasn't a bug, but maybe I selected something to only show the post from MacRumors, but now it's working perfectly, so this is not a bug. That's it for this overview of Micro Ink that should launch very soon for Micro.blog users. And again, I'm very excited for this addition to Micro.blog because it makes Micro.blog my main driver for consuming content from feeds, from people I like to follow, and also to blog on my blog, obviously. So I'm very happy to see that coming, and this is a version 1.0. I expect this to be improved quite a lot over the upcoming weeks and months, because I think Manton, which is behind this, is very enthusiastic about it, and I think he really likes to use RSS in general, so I'm guessing this will be improved quite a lot. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. See you soon for another one soon. Bye.